Hello pop music fans, welcome back to my channel. My name is Allison, and today we are listening to a new release from Halsey, If I Can't Have Love, I Want Power. Now, I've heard a lot of good things about this album, especially Taylor Swift tweeted about it and said that it's amazing, so I figured I have to check out this album. From Halsey, I really loved her Badlands album back in 2015, before she was cool. But since then, I haven't really listened to anything beyond her singles. It just hasn't really been my style anymore lately, but I'm interested to see the direction this album goes in and to see if it's more my style of music than some of her other recent releases have been. So let's just jump right into listening to this album. I'm very excited to hear. I've heard such good things about this album, so let's just start with the tradition. Oh, the loneliest girl in town. We dress her up in lovely gowns. So far, I'm loving the sound of her voice. I forget that's one of the things I loved about Badlands so much is just her voice. But this style of singing on just the opener of this album is definitely different than when she was going for more big pop songs, you know what I mean? And the background music is very dark and very interesting, and I'm definitely compelled. Oh, that's so good. The lyrical concept and the music and her voice, I love all of it so far. Oh, the theme of this song is done so well. This is so good. What an opener. Wow. The dark musical sound is so great. I think it works so well with her voice. Okay, the next song is called Bells in Santa Fe. Ooh. I want some bells to be added to this production. Come on, give us bells, please, 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 bells. Come on, really big, loud, dramatic bells. Come on. I love the production on that one. It was very dark and interesting, but I just wish, because the song was called The Bells in Santa Fe, if there were these really dark, loud bell chimes, like really like deep, not like little tinkly bells, but like giant bells, that would have been so epic and so interesting. So I was waiting for the bells to come in, and they didn't, and I'm a little bit sad, but it's okay. The next song is called Easier Than Lying. So far, I just want to note the production is a lot louder than her voice, and I would prefer if her voice would stand out a little bit more. It'll probably go down a little bit and her voice will go up, but right off the bat, her voice is a little too quiet compared to the production. I do really like the punk electric guitars. They sound great, but I'm still wishing that her voice was a little bit louder than the music. That was really interesting. You could definitely tell the early 2000s pop punk influence that song had. I really truly think if the song had been mixed differently, that would have been one of my favorites, but because the guitars and all the loud instrumentation was so much louder than her voice, I don't know if that'll be a favorite of mine just because of how it's mixed. Maybe like a live version would be really cool. The next song is called Lilith. Ooh, yes. Oh. Right off the bat, the way she's singing is my favorite style of singing I have heard from her. Oh, yes. So the title of that one is really interesting because it's called Lilith, and throughout the song there are kind of demon references, and she says that she always messes things up. So the song is called Lilith because she's comparing herself to Lilith, the she-demon, and I really appreciate that. I think that's a really interesting concept for a song, is calling yourself Lilith, who's the most famous female demon. The next song is called Girl Is a Gun, which I don't know what that means, but let's find out. Ooh, a little laugh. I'm really surprised right off the bat, first 10 seconds. The first couple songs have all been so dark, and this one is so much less dark so far, and it's standing out in a really good way. Ooh. I feel like the song would have better been named This Girl Is a Gun instead of just Girl Is a Gun. That was interesting. That was very interesting. I understand why they chose the production that they did on that song because it fits a lot with the rest of the album, but I think I would have liked something a little bit different on that one just because, I don't know, I just feel like the music and the lyrics, I don't know, I feel like a different production than what they chose would have been better. And I don't know exactly what, but it was a little too, paced and steady, and I don't know, I think I would have liked something a little bit different. The next song is called You Asked for This. Okay, I'm already noticing again with this song, the guitars and the drums are too much louder than her voice. Whoever mixed this needs to turn her vocal up, like, a lot. Oh. I really like the lyrical concept of this one. It definitely sounds like she's talking to herself, which is really kind of sad, but a really interesting song concept. I really like this bridge. The slowed down guitar with her slowed down vocal sounds great. Yes. And then it comes back in. Oh, that's so nice. There's still another 30 seconds left of this song. I think more than 15 or 20 seconds for a fade out is a little bit overkill. But maybe when we go into the next song, we'll see why she wanted to fade out so long. The next song is called Darling. Oh. This is completely different than everything we've heard before. Now it's acoustic guitars and a more folky style. I thought it was really interesting that Darling comes right exactly at the middle of the album to show that there is a light in darkness when you have a child, and I think that's really interesting. The next song is called 1121. That was an interesting song. It's good to see that Halsey is still using the same kinds of lyrical themes that she was using from the very beginning of her career, like the same similar metaphors and lyrical style. That's really interesting and really apparent on that song. The next song is called Honey. Oh. This is a really fun one. For some reason, it reminds me of Fall Out Boy. I don't know why. It just does. Yes! This is such like a summer driving anthem. It's so fun. It is so fun. The next song is called Whispers. Ooh, a whisper in whispers. Ooh. That's interesting. Wow, that's really interesting. With her whispering things in a song called Whispers, and it was really cool. I thought that was interesting. The next song is I'm Not a Woman, I'm a God. Yes. Oh. Yes, the vibe of this one. Oh. This better be a single. Yes. Yes. With a new name, how she changed her name from her actual name Ashley to her stage name Halsey. It's really interesting. There's like a descending chromatic that like intentionally sounds out of key because of how it hits notes that aren't in the key signature. The next song is called The Lighthouse. Ooh, I thought it was gonna be not that. Oh, this is Badlands Halsey. This is Badlands Halsey. It sounded like it belongs on a Twilight soundtrack, like Baby New Moon. I could totally see that on a New Moon soundtrack. The last song of this album is called, I believe, Ya Berne. Undertones of sadness when I think about the moments that I never got to spend with you. Aww. I wasn't expecting a sweet love song like this as the closer. I looked it up, and Ya Berne means you bury me, which goes along with the lyrics, you will bury me before I bury you. That was an interesting closer. That album was overall, I don't know, there were some songs that I really liked and some that I could take or leave. I'm going to say the songs that I really liked. I liked The Tradition, Easier Than Lying, Lilith, You Asked for This, Darling, Honey, I'm Not Woman, I'm a God, and The Lighthouse. Those were some of my favorites. Those were pretty good. I'm glad I listened to that album. It was definitely a really interesting project. I'm not sure if there are any of the songs that I would listen to over and over, like add to a playlist or add into my album rotation or anything. But I'm glad that I listened to it one time. I think that was a really interesting album experience. I'm not sure if any of the songs would be like long-term favorites of mine, but I thought that was a really good project from Halsey, and I appreciate it a lot. So what did you think of If I Can't Have Love, I Want Power? Let me know in the comments what you thought of this album. I thought it was a really interesting album for sure. There was a lot going on, and really cool creative and artistic elements were used throughout this album. So I could definitely appreciate the artistry of this album for sure. So that is the end of this reaction today. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and like this video if you want to see more reactions from me, and leave a comment of some other album you want me to react to. So thanks for watching, have a great day, and bye!